This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Shaun Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pitstop. Today's edition of the Pitstop, the Hump Day. Happy Hump Day to everybody out there, the Hump Day edition of the Pitstop. And you, the pit crew, my good friends, my sim racing combatants in many cases, my good friends are here to talk about sim racing. How you all doing? I'm in a great mood. Beautiful Wednesday here in Southern California, a little bit of rain, but it's not cold, so it's really kind of cool. It's just washing the dirt away. Gotta love that. Eric Hardiman, just want to let you know right now I could reach over there and stop my Twitch stream if I wanted to, and that is thanks to you. Thank you very much, buddy. But yes, we are here dual streaming, actually. It's not the illegal restream dual stream. We are actually streaming to two different venues simultaneously. Twitch, hello Twitch. Thank you guys for being here all morning. And hello, happy hump day to everybody out there in sim racing land. So I guess the first topic, I can move on to the news topics and bring up the page. But for me, at least, and I think for a lot of you who watch the show, the biggest news today is yesterday's news. Yesterday was... Hello, Joa. Hello, Ian. Hello, Flight Is, Christopher, Eric, Mr. Mac, Dave, Blair, Tim, Spatial Dragon, Rick Hyde, Sean Seabrand. I see all sorts of faces. I feel like we're now moved on to, was that Romper Room? Sorry, everybody. I don't know. Anyway, but the big news of the day would be yesterday's news, and that would be the iRacing build. All right, so yesterday iRacing did some big things. And there are a few different ways to look at it. And they did so much, to be honest with you, I didn't even get to it all yesterday. V8 supercars, I didn't even get a chance. You've got the new Holden Commodore and the Ford Mustang V8 supercar. I'm dying to try it out, but I just have so many things going on, I didn't get to that. You've also got the new version of Lime Rock Park. You've got the new face of the Skippy. You've got the Limaland Raceway, I believe it's called, or Lernerville Speedway, I'm sorry. And in addition to that, you've got AI. So before we even get to the build, and most of it is content, that's awesome, and a few other updates to the sim. It was a big build. The V7 tires is their greatest tire model, they say. More cars, so it's on the NASCAR Cup car, it's on the 911 GT3 Cup, the 991. So what's interesting to me was the response that I've seen and heard regarding the AI. So AI has been added to iRacing. Artificial intelligence, being able to race against the computer. Yes, Smurfs. Yes, Smurfs asked from Twitch. AI and iRacing, that is correct. It's only on one car. It's only on the Porsche 911. And yet, I drove it for a few hours yesterday, actually. You can only do it in the 911. You have to create like a season. You have to use the beta UI in order to use it. You can't use it for the normal interface. It's something that is only on the new user beta UI, which we could argue about that all day long right there in its own. But the AI, I saw a lot of people upset by the AI. I guess if you hated AI, which I'm not going to argue that. You're to each his own. Everybody's allowed to hate AI. I guess you could be upset that the resources were spent on something, they could have updated this, and the other thing instead of adding the AI to the sim. And I give you that. Hey, Chris Phillips. Hey, Ola. I give you that. But on the other hand, I drove it. And I have to tell you, I already wish they had it for every car. And here's my logic on it. There are times that I get to the sim when others, for whatever reason, are not. And I want to practice for whatever. And I've found myself at this track in this car all alone, or with maybe just one guy out there on the track. And it can get just a little boring or tedious at times. Just lapping, and I put on the AI, and I can tell you this, I would have no problem at all doing a full fuel, full tire practice session to truly know how my car is going to handle from start to finish. When I hot lap, even if I go out on full tank, I tend to make mistakes or lose my mind or whatever And with AI, it allowed me to feel entertained that whole time. It also made random things occur to me in practice. And, anybody who's been in public race has witnessed this. Everybody can be a superstar when they get the perfect driving line because they are all alone and they've been hot lapping their asses off. And so they can run a half a second, 3/4 of a second faster than they can with other cars on the track around. Now in racing, there are other cars around. And how many of these guys who are hot lap heroes who can't hold that outside line, they only know the perfect apex and they've done it 1,000 times. But have they run that outside line all the way around the corner to know the real boundary of the car when door-to-door racing? We've all seen people fail this horribly. The AI is an opportunity that forces you to practice the off-driving line aspect of racing as well. So there are a few things that I love about it already. The other thing, and I saw somebody type in, and I missed it, who said it, but it opens the door to a different aspect of racer. I know people who don't have time to be competitive in iRacing, but it's still their favorite sim. And it gives them the ability to race when they might not otherwise have that opportunity. So I think that is a great thing about it as well. And then here's the last thing. And I said this during my live stream yesterday on Twitch. Not many people heard it or saw it. But as I was racing the AI, it dawned on me, iRacing opened up a new door to a new business model. If they could make the AI really good, and if they could incorporate that into a career mode and give you like 4 cars and 10 tracks, they could actually sell a non-multiplayer, over-the-counter, gamey version of iRacing and use that as an enticement for more people to join the service, but using it. My brother, for example, doesn't do multiplayer. He only does single-player games. He would probably like doing that. Dave Blair says, grow some balls and race with real people. By the way, if you're watching the show and you have a question that you want answered by me or the audience, be sure to type in a handful of question marks and then your question so I'll see it. And if you have a statement that I or everybody else needs to see, make sure you hit us with a couple of exclamation marks so that it is very visible to me and everybody watching versus just normal conversation. I'm not giving you the endorsement to yell. I'm just saying. So anyway, very, very mixed thoughts and opinions on the AI. I drove against it and found that, like typical AI, you can just make them the victim anytime that you can put your car in position, push them outside, cut them off, you win. But their pace was decent, and if you just sort of made sure that you weren't going to cheat and, work your way around them, it was a little harder once you got up to the guys that you were evenly matched with. So I had a great time, I will say, and I will do it again, and that's honest. I wish it was available on more cars. And yeah, I see a lot of people were upset, and I understand the reasoning. At the same time, I saw someone say, yeah, but if you don't like it, don't play it. It's just the resources. I understand that. We're paying for the service, so you are entitled to an opinion on how they spend those resources. Rick Hyde, one step closer to consoles. Potentially. I don't necessarily think it. I don't know if the iRacing physics engine would scale to the console as is, and I don't know if iRacing, they do have a certain code that they try to maintain. I don't know if they would drop that standard. Can we have a beating session for Dave Blair later? No, Tim, we're not going to beat anybody. Everybody's entitled to their opinion across the board. Yes, Chris Phillips says would help people get faster. I believe so. I really do. It gives people more incentive to turn more laps. When maybe, again, if you're Pacific Coast and you get on at 11 o'clock at night, there might not be any friends to run with. They're just 1 or 2 friends. And, I'm lucky. I have a lot of friends. Not everybody has a lot of friends. You go on at 11 o'clock, there might be no one to go practice with in a certain car track combo. AI and iRacing would totally cure that. Unfortunately, right now, it's just one car and track. Or one car. Lots of tracks. Any tracks. Yeah, JT says that he thought the AI was very good, by the way. Little timid, but that's better than getting knocked off the road all the time. Plus, they're only going to get better. I agree, and they were making their own mistakes. I actually, at the final lap, a car in front of me, I'm not sure if there was contact or one of them turned around. It was 2 cars up, but it came back and hit me. And I'm like, that was awesome. That was a real racing incident, and it was caused by the AI. John Thering says, hopefully for good AI because of work schedule. Exactly, work nights. I can't race people. This is a reason to get this sim. I agree 100%, John. Yes. Spatial says next gen consoles, perhaps they will be able to handle it. And I'm not saying that they can't either. Stuart says content should be half off the price. You talking Black Friday because it was only on subscriptions versus content? Yeah, exactly. Smurf says, if you have friends who are new to iRacing, this would be a good way for them to get up to speed. Completely agree. Would love to fill the field in Simpit truck race. Rick, do you mean that we'd add AI to fill the grid if we are short on drivers, or are you asking for a new Simpit truck race? Looks like we're going to move into the F3 car is where we're kind of leaning at this point. But then again, if we're not going to start to the beginning of the year, will we all be done with the F3 car? Thank you, Tim. Simpit Live. Yes, we are Simpit Live on Twitch. If we'll come back to that at the end of the show. Hopefully I remember. All right, I'm going to move along with the news. Christopher, I don't own iRacing, but if the AI could be a completely separate thing in a race room style. Yeah, and that's and immediately when playing it, Christopher, and I didn't even think about that much until playing it. As soon as I played the AI, I thought, wow, this is potentially a whole different business model for iRacing. I agree. Yeah, it would be really fun to fill the field with AI if you had a small league. Scorpion, I believe every track. Wasn't it every track? I didn't look through the entire track list, but I drove a few different tracks, and it was more restricted to the car than the tracks. I'm not 100% sure that it was every track, though, either. I'm on the wrong sim. I can't fire that up. Okay, all right. Let's get into the news. So, in addition to that, you had the new version of Lime Rock. Like I said, the big news to me this today was definitely this iRacing 2020 Season 1 build, I guess. Well, it's really the last build. But Lernerville Speedway is a dirt track. I didn't get a chance to drive that at all. Again, I was quite busy with the AI. Skip Barber got a facelift. I believe it wasn't any kind of a physics difference. I believe it was just a facelift to the car. Obviously, the V8 supercars, and then Lime Rock. So I drove Lime Rock, and it's stunning. It's amazing. It's like at first you might not notice because it's Lime Rock. So there's been small changes to the track. It's still Lime Rock, but the depth of graphics is different now at Lime Rock than it was by a long shot. Lime Rock was one of the early tracks, and just to give you an idea, normally when I'm racing on iRacing on triple screens with all the eye candy turned on, I'm running somewhere between 140 and 300 frames per second. That's my normal boundary, 140 to 300. When I rode Lime Rock, it was like 80 or 90 on the downside, and never saw more than like 150. So it was definitely more graphic intensive as well. I'm not sure if this is going to be the new look, and I have a big system. I mean, I've got a water-cooled 2080 Ti on a kick-ass water-cooled i7. it's hard to throw much more at the sim, to be honest with you. So anyway, it was an amazing version of Lime Rock. It might force you to adjust your, Tim says he lost 30 frames per second. So it might force some people to actually change their graphics, which would be tough to do that for one track. Anyway, that is the iRacing story. Definitely big news. They're talking about it. They got shots of Lernerville. I keep calling it Lernerville. It's not Lernerville. It's Lernerville. It's Lernerville. I got it right. Dave Blair, every blade of grass isn't only detailed, but it also has shadow. Dave Galink, what resolution? I'm at 5760 by 1080, or it might be like 6000 something with my bezel monitor compensation by 1080. So I'm running 1080 triple screens basically. Okay, what else? What else to talk about? But that's a big deal. They put out a video. Oh, there's a video as well. So another thing, and this is something else I have to look into. So now they have custom spec maps allowing for like chrome and matte finishes when you're painting cars for their personal paint schemes. So there's a whole video here on custom spec maps, and a few of our guys were actually talking about using this. And so there's a whole video at iRacing on YouTube showing you how to operate and work with it. The painting has gone beyond the paint programs I own, so it's kind of hard for me to paint at some of the high levels nowadays. All right, moving on, finally. All right, are we done? We're done with iRacing for now? Come back to that later, I'm assuming, at some point. Forgive me. I have to keep the coffee going. All right, RFactor. Well, we talked about this already, but welcome to the Sim Formula 2020 qualifying. Top 25 will qualify for a series of races in the week of December 10th through 15th. The winner in each race will participate at Sim Formula 2020, hosted January 16th through 19th at Interclassics in Maastricht. So that is now going on. That was posted 2 days ago. We talked about that on Monday, but that is now going in. In addition, I think we already showed this video even, but just to see it again, the Formula E. But what is significant is that with this year, you now have Porsche involved. So one of these cars, there's the Porsche. But the Formula E now part of the, they're full on board. And also, didn't Formula E just get upgraded as far as official FIA classification? And I think FIA has always been its sanctioning body, but now it's considered one of their championship series, I believe, for this coming year, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it does allow. Thank you, Pro Sim. 7 tracks, thank you. Barber, Circuit de Barcelona, Donington Park, Lime Rock, Nürburgring Grand Prix, Road America, and Watkins Glen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Like I said, you guys, the pit crew, you are the star of the show. Thank you very much. Okay, what else? Dirt, new liveries are now available for Dirt Rally 2.0, Season 4 players. So a couple screenshots of, that's a Fiat. Isn't that a Fiat? That's a Fiat. When I was a kid, this would be 1973 is my guess. My mom had a 4-door one of those. Yep. There's the GTI livery. It was a liveries for the Season 4, I guess. What's that little thing? Is that a Peugeot? And the Audi. Look at that badass machine. That was our thumbnail of the day, I do believe, wasn't it? Yeah, look at that. Look at that boxed out fender flares on that snorting beast of an Audi. Awesome. Anyway, Dirt Rally 2.0 Season 4 players. And in addition to that, they have a video out on the Dirt channel, so if you don't own the game but you just want to check it out, doing it in the rain. Welcome to Leiden Hill. This is the new track, part of the new season, the Leiden Hill Rallycross track. And in this crazy-ass video, they're doing it in the rain. Yeah, you do. Look at that. New content. New stuff going on. Yeah, Dave Blair, and you can let him do it. Well, you could even let him run an actual race. You know what else is cool? This is cool. If you run in AI and you crash on the start of the race, you can hit restart and it regrids the field. I mean, you can work on your race starts. I tell you what, if people out there did nothing, I will say the AI sucked on the starts, by the way, but if you did nothing but use it to practice starts, which is actually hard to do, because in practice mode, there's no standing start or whatever. But yeah, it actually allows you to practice the start of the race over and over and over again. It means that when you rarely practice, and especially as the new tire model comes in, this new V7 tire model that takes 2 to 3 laps to get it built up to temperature, getting to know turn 1 from you're midway down the starting the straightaway, so your speed into turn 1 is like a third of what it is if you would run off of the final corner. This allows you to practice that into the corner, too wide, cold tires, what can the car really do? And that is very important. And as this tire model becomes more sophisticated, that is going to become even more important. So there you go. Dirt Rally, Leiden Hill Rallycross video there at Dirt on YouTube. You can check it out. So the finals, here, let's go to the countdown real quick. Countdown, 1 hour, 39 minutes. So in an hour and 39 minutes, you're going to have to make a decision. You're either going to watch me fumble with a DIY project on Twitch, and if you want to follow us on Twitch, it's Simpit Live on Twitch, or maybe you'll be tuning in and watching the Pro Series Grand Final. This is the final 3 races of the F1 Esport, $500,000 on the line. 1 hour, 39 minutes, 30 seconds from now is when it will go on. McLaren, Lando Norris wishing the best to the Shadow drivers. They're all psyched about it. You got Formula One, the game at Twitter, showing pictures. Here it comes. Here comes the trophy. It's all happening. So again, today is the big day. You've got write-ups. I just pulled up this one as an example of at least 10 different stories I saw talking about 500K and the chance to show pros how it's done. Esport F1 gets real. The final showdown will take place in a London shopping center, but the prizes and opportunities are huge. So, big money on the line, again, happens in 1 hour, 38 minutes from now. Somebody who is going to be hanging out with me on Twitch when we do this DIY project later, can somebody please keep that timer going for me and tell me it's time for us to go find that race and fire it up in the background as noise? That would be very helpful. You're not showing an update on Dirt Rally 2.0? Let's go back and check that out. This was posted 2 hours ago. New liveries are now available. Season 4 players. Are you a Season 4 player? Leiden Hill 23 hours ago. Get your first look right now. Looks like you should have something. Looks like you should have something, Tim. All right. Yeah, damage. I was driving mostly. No, you read it wrong. I'm out. Sorry, I came back here. What? What are you talking about, Brandon? I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, Grid. Yesterday, a quick announcement for Grid Season 1, I'm sorry. Unexpected issue has caused us to slightly delay the release of Season 1 content to the Xbox One. We're putting the work to resolve the issue and put the update live on Xbox One later this week. So, PS4 and Steam updates are still set for Wednesday. That's today. This is all related to Grid. So, yeah, anyway, so they're having little difficulties, and Grid Season 1 is rolling out across territories and platforms starting right now. So that was as of today. We'll update this thread whenever a new platform or territory has the green light for the Hot Hat Showdown. So we're still waiting on news. There's the rollout official, and we are still waiting on, let's just see if there's been any more updates since now. And it looks like no. 59 minutes ago. Yep, this was new. Okay, so Season 1 content is now available to PS4 players in America. All other territories are set to be live by midnight today. So it looks like the update that has caused a little delay to Season 1 has been resolved, and the delay is probably not going to be as long as it looked like as of yesterday even. So, anyway, all right, what else? I mentioned the Visaro rig that had been delivered to the guys at WRC. There it is in place in their headquarters. Obviously, Fnatic equipment. And there you have it. Where is this? The theming of the showroom, which showcases Big Ben Interactive's range of products. So this is the Big Ben showroom, Big Ben in general. But look how much they're leaning on WRC, by the way. Oh, you jumped into the... Yes, good job. I was in there, and I walked away, and when I came back, the race was already on. And I was like, never mind. What else? This just made me think. So through MPI, Max Pappas Industries, who I'll be hanging out with next week at PRI, and I'll be hanging out with Ricmotech. Ricmotech posted this. Customize your wheel to your favorite automaker. And these are just like a logo put on the wheel. So it's sort of like not like the same as having one of those replica wheels that might cost you thousands of dollars. But just yesterday, me and the guys in that very F3 room were talking about 6-bolt pattern and how you could just throw just about any kind of wheel on any of them. Anyway, what brand would you put? Just out of curiosity, what brand would you guys put if you're just getting a logoed wheel? Forget the shape. But, I mean, in this image, I see VW, Audi, Mazda, and Subaru. What would your pick be? None of those, any brand. What would you do? Hey, Billy Strange, how you doing? Dave, I didn't know that happened. Oh, Bob Jenkins loves that Subaru look. I don't know. I'm a little prone to the Mazda one. Not in that shape, by the way. I really want to get myself. I want like a 270 round. Like an old school. This would be like a 68 Formula One wheel almost. Hola, Ferrari. McLaren says Smurfs. Yes. Audi, Eric, they already have one ready to go for you. Put a sticker on any wheel too. That's okay. So as much as I love Ricmotech and as much as I love Max Pappas Industries, and I'll be hanging out with both of them again at PRI next week. But, you can get, and Climber was saying this just yet, you can get a $20 knockoff and put a Ferrari sticker on it yourself. That, totally works. I only like round wheels. It's so true. I really like just round. If I could have a wall mount with all these different rims, and I could figure out a way to kind of get my button mapping so that it was common, I would totally be down with a Formula style rim for Formula driving. However, I've always been sort of a one wheel at a time guy. And with that said, if I only get one wheel and I'm going to change disciplines, I just want a round wheel that's small. So when I'm in the F3 car, it's very easy to drive. And when I'm in a rally car, it's easy to do this. And when I'm in a GT car, it just feels comfortable, even though I'd want bigger. So yeah, I really do. I don't want to remap, Smurfs. Exactly. I don't want to remap all the time. I have enough changes in my world of sim racing. We're done with the Black Friday, Cyber Monday madness, of course, but that doesn't mean that it's over. So if you didn't take advantage of any Steam purchases, do not worry. 18 days, 29 minutes away from the next Steam sale. So you'll be able to just hold out, little patience. It's just 3 weeks, not even 3 weeks away, and you'll be able to get things for the cheap. I am not a sim racist. How dare you? How dare you, Joa? I am not a sim racist. Humble Bundle? Bundle, I always mess that up. If you type in sim racing or driving game for a platform, by the way, there is a bunch of stuff. I mean, is there anything I'd want? Crew 2, maybe. Trials, I always enjoyed Trials. Trials is only $8. Gold edition for 15. But yeah, with Black Friday over doesn't mean it's over. Oh, Wreckfest Season Pass, $22.99. I think that's a pretty decent deal. WRC8 for $49. That doesn't seem all that cheap. That seems like normal, or maybe $10 off. $60 for the deluxe edition of WRC8. All right. What else? I heard Halo is the #1 selling game on Steam right now. I think that's on Steam. Crew 2 is doing a free play weekend on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So that is December 5th through 9th. That starts tomorrow. And I don't know how you do it, but yes, if you want to check out Crew 2, I don't know how free play, what happened? So if we click this, it takes us to Cheap Gamer. When can I play? You can have them in the following times. Preload December 3rd. So you can start preloading now. You do need Xbox Gold. You do not need a PlayStation Plus, however. So it's only on Xbox that you need to have the upgraded. And you just go look it up on whatever your platform is. Where does it say the PC one? That's the one I want to know. For Uplay, PC, and Epic Games Store, a preload will be available. So yeah, you just go sign up for a Uplay account if you don't have one already, or the Epic and Epic Games Store, and you can preload the game and start playing it tomorrow if you want a free weekend. It's actually a long weekend, so yeah, you would get it 5th through 9th. So that's 4 days that you could be driving Crew 2 if you want to just check it out. What else? I bring this up. Zwift is certainly a sim, and it's certainly sim racing, but it is bike. You ride basically a treadmill, or actually in most cases people ride a real bike on a device that records the what they're spinning. And then it's a video game. And you race. You can see it in the screen. And I cover it from time to time, but I don't really feel it really is applicable to our show. However, the title of this article made me think about sim racing a little bit. Leo Heinz, losing sight and racing strong. So maybe you were previously, in his case, I believe he was a runner. He might have been like he's on an Iron Mite. He might have been a triathlon dude. But anyway, the point is he's losing his sight, making it hard to do the real thing. But yet his heart wants him to race, wants him to perform in this type of competition. That's what he's made for. That's what he does. That's what he thrives on. And it's one of those things he lives for, we even could say. But losing your sight makes it rather impossible. Anyway, apparently this whole article is about him running Zwift and using that form of sim racing to still be able to do it. And that takes me to my thought, or parallel to this, and one of the greatest things about sim racing is how usable it is by anybody. Somebody did call me a sim elitist recently, and it was talking about the NASCAR competition. We saw everybody on a row of wheels, and one guy was using a controller, and I clowned that guy. And it was probably a poor choice, because one thing I do say about sim racing is whatever it takes to get you out here doing it, or whatever your reasoning for doing it. But when you look at people who might be losing certain abilities, whether it be vision or movement or certain control of certain things. Sim racing is one of those things that allows anybody to still have that competitive spirit and do it. I watched Sam Schmidt, who's completely paralyzed, race using head tracking and a blow tube. The head tracking was steering the car, and the blow tube was gas and brake. Blow for gas, suck for brake. And no, he probably cannot beat me in a race doing it. But somebody who loves racing, who lives for racing, like Leo Hines lives for racing, has the ability to still do the sport. And that is something that I think is very, very special about sim racing and makes us, again, very unique. We might be a niche of the gaming market, but that is one of those features that makes us very unique and different than all other gaming. When we want to be on a high horse, now I will be a sim elitist. When I want to be on a high horse of how awesome sim racing is compared to the rest of the gaming market, that is one of the reasons why. I have 100 reasons for why sim racing is superior to all gaming, and I am a gamer. I love all sorts of gaming, but sim racing is its own unique entity with a very, very unique set of things that make it different and separate from all other gaming. So yeah, it replaces, it's your new motocross. Thank you, Cranky. That's exactly the same thing I'm thinking about. No, Brad, I'm gone next week. So, no, I am here the rest of this week. I leave town. We will have a Monday pit stop coming this week, and then I'm off from Tuesday through Sunday, but we'll be back on the air Monday again, if that makes any sense. We'll be at PRI. If I can get an internet connection, which when I go foreign places, I don't count on internet being good enough to do much of anything. So anyway, moving right along. Bob, thank you. I agree. Thank you. Today, happy birthday to you. We're actually late on this birthday for you. PlayStation, 25 years of innovation. So apparently yesterday was the birthday of the PlayStation. Very, very, very cool. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on this one. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think I'm wrong on part of the story. If I'm not mistaken, PlayStation was built for Gran Turismo. Polyphony might have originally owned the PlayStation or bought it from Sony, but Gran Turismo is part of the reason why the PlayStation exists, and part of the whole thing between Polyphony and Sony and the PlayStation have been intertwined. Resub! Thank you very much, Devin Booth. Resubbing up there. Thank you, buddy. But they've always been intertwined and gone back and forth in terms of who actually owns the rights to the PlayStation. So someone correct me if you know more on that story than I do, or somebody Google it or Wikipedia it. But happy birthday to PlayStation. I think it's safe to say that the PlayStation has had a huge impact on my life. Gaming across the board, but in the earlier years, sure, it was Atari, Nintendo, Genesis, these kind of systems. But in late days, no question about it, it's been PlayStation, Xbox that for many, many years now have shaped the gaming world. And I've grown up in this world. My being 51, if you want to be a dick about it. Being 51, I was just having this conversation at Thanksgiving with my mom. When I was 5 or 6 years old and we go to the arcade, skee ball, foosball, air hockey. We had these baseball games that you'd put a nickel in, and it would, like a marble type ball, they'd have like a diorama type baseball field, and a ball would come released, and you'd press a button, and a bat would hit the ball, physically hit the ball. and you'd get points based on where it went. It was basically skee ball with a little miniature bat hitting a ball instead of skiing balls. Same principle of points, though. These were what were at the arcade. So when I say that I grew up with these things, by the age of 7, 6 even, is when Pong came out. Resub by Dave Blair. Thank you for the resub, buddy. But yeah, when I think of my lifetime has been shaped by video gaming. No question about it. It's been a big part of my life since I was 6 years old. And PlayStation, Xbox have been a big part of the later years, later decades, really. But anyway, long story short, happy birthday, PlayStation. 25 years of innovation. With that, here's an article here by Launcher, not by Launcher. That's the part of the Washington Post that wrote this article here. They've been pretty stagnant for a while. I don't know if that's quite fair. I don't look a day over 25 plus 15, 20. Yeah, Mr. Back, the PlayStation was the first time you had a reason to get a wheel and pedals and GT, Gran Turismo, and it got you hooked. Toka, same story. Yes, absolutely. We're all here, and probably we're all here as a result of those games, those things. Many of us. Anyway, okay. Washington Post, here's an article. I want to drive real cars. The thinking that drove the development of PlayStation's first Gran Turismo. Look at the graphics going back in time. Anyway, if you want to hear just how we got there, how they got there to what got us here, here's the article here at the Washington Post explaining part of that. But yeah, Gran Turismo, absolutely one of the biggest leaders in sim racing, and we can have a sim elitist conversation all day long, but there is no denying that the biggest impact of all in all of sim racing is Gran Turismo. End of story. Boom. Mic drop on that. Yeah, and you know what? And that's fair. Between versions, lack of progress, sure, absolutely. I'm not even disputing any of that. But when it comes to no, that wasn't P-Cars. Hey, this was supposed to be up with the other stories. I'm supposed to get better about arranging things than I do. You see shadow flicker? What do you mean? What do you mean, Sim Racing Source? All right, go behind the scenes at the Esport breeding ground for future F1 drivers. Another article. This one's at redbull.com, which means it holds a little more weight. The F1 Pro Esports Series is an elite racing championship that's open to everyone and features current drivers like Pierre Gasly. I'm not sure exactly what that meant. I'm going to have to look more into that. But can esports really lead to a career in the real thing? How many times do we have to redo this article? You have guys who are already doing it. I mean, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, Sands. They already do it. Yes, it's going. And here's the other thing. It's not going to necessarily always be a sim racer that just goes from sim racing to real life racing, but that there is going to be more and more guys who do both. So how do you definitively say that it was sim racing or real car or a combination of the both that led to his real life career? Carlos Sanz, thank you very much, JT. So that's the real reality. I mean, when we look at guys like, where is it? Bear with me. Here it is. Igor Fraga. And, you read some articles that say, oh, well, sim racing led to his real life racing. And it's like, well, no. Igor Fraga has been racing for many, many, many years. This wasn't a new thing. A lot of times when they have these competitions that start off as sim racing competitions, like you think of a Gran Turismo Academy, where it starts off as a sim competition but leads to a real-life racing career. Yes, Lando Norris definitely was sim racing before Formula One, but he was also real-life racing prior to Formula One. It's not like they just said, "Oh, sim racer extraordinaire, here's a Formula One car." Is he? But yeah, I think in many cases they're going to be, when you look at the GT Academy, usually by the time it gets to the real life competition, the guys that really excel are the ones who have previous racing or driving experience. And it's going to be a parallel. It's not going to be as linear as one or the other in most cases. Now, that doesn't mean there won't be a superstar of sim racing who somehow automatically transfers to a car with amazing skill and goes right up the ladder. That is also going to happen. But so this article, again, we're going to keep seeing more and more of this questioned for a while until it becomes fact. We saw the same article go back a decade. And this article, yeah, I'm going straight from the Simpit to F1, Izzy. They're putting me on the Toro Rosso team, I hear. Yes, that's what I heard. Next year. So anyway, 10 years ago, this article wasn't questioning esport leading to F1 or leading to real-life driving. This article 10 years ago was, is sim racing the real thing? Is sim racing a joke? Is sim race, and now it's so accepted that isn't the question anymore. Now it's, will it lead to real careers, right? I mean, that's the evolution. That's how far we've come. When we want to gripe about our sims or our controllers or where we are in sim racing, and we have plenty to gripe about, granted, you also have to remember that 10 years ago, they questioned what we were doing, and now they're questioning just how good we are. All right? That's a big step forward. So there you go. Century Sim Racing. I just spent last Friday at Base 51, the Sim Center. And yes, it was a little expensive, but at the same time, it was like going to an indoor go-karting track with friends. Same type of experience, a little less sweat, a little more in your face because you're right there. Marjan Van Marwick, thank you very much. I missed what that warning was, but I did see that you did something for the show. Thank you very much. Actually, I think, can I? Hold on. Bear with me, you guys. You subbed. Thank you, Martin. Thank you very much for the sub. Just was able to... is this thing working again? That'd be amazing. Just seems like it needs its own time ring. Anyway, so my point is, if you're in London and you have guys, maybe you know a few guys who are around, maybe you guys can coordinate media. It might be worth driving, but the Northwest Premier Motorsport Simulator Racing Center. This is, where are they? They are in, and I don't know them. I don't even know if they're good. I just saw this, and it's like, you guys got to take the opportunity. Warrington, Cheshire, UK. So again, contact some of your UK buddies and spend a Saturday. Go do some racing. Go have some fun in a sim center. It's just like going to a karting center, but they let you drink. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, wrong disclaimer, but we have to disclaim that. I didn't really mean that. What else? Formula One launches esport documentary on Facebook. I didn't know this was in the works or in the making, but this actually dates all the way back to July 16th, 2018. Let's not worry about this one. Forgive me. I'm fat. GT Planet, talking about F1 2019, now available to stream on the PlayStation. Tim Chitwood, you can now stream away on your F1 2019 directly from the game. That's a new addition on the PlayStation Now variation of F1 2019. For everybody who wants to be a streamer, now you can do it. There you go. What else? GT Sport also, or GT Planet. Also, remember we just talked about that GT Sports Garage Full. If you were a new player, this wasn't, if you had a long time account, it wasn't supposedly happening. But it was for newer players. But GT Sport was getting a Garage Full bug. And we knew it was they're aware of it, but now they've upgraded from aware to it's being patched soon. So if you're one of the new members, the GT Sport, if you're one of the huge numbers of new GT Sport players who've been experiencing issue, and it's coming out. Good news, bad news. It's coming. Bad news, it's not here yet. What else? Zynga celebrates Bugatti's 110th anniversary with special CSR Racing 2 event series. Has anyone ever played CSR 2? I don't even know what CSR 2 is. But apparently, there's a game that you can get through the App Store or Google Play. So I guess this would be... hey, we did a whole show on... Did we mention CSR 2 and that, like, Android version of games you can play? Anyway, but they have a special event series going on with the Bugatti Veyron celebrating 110 years of Bugatti. That is amazing. That is amazing. All right, what else? What else? NASCAR Heat 4. I think a while ago, we talked about that. They had a poll. Should we do a Q&A? And everybody said, yes, you should do a Q&A. So apparently they did a Q&A, and I think we even reported on when it was happening. Oh, Izzy, that's that drag. We did talk about that in that Android one. It's the drag racing game, and it's kind of boring. It's okay. Kind of boring. But if you're sitting there, I've been to family things where I'm just sitting there and it, you know what, maybe it's 4 hours, feels like it's 10 hours because you're just so bored out of your mind. And you're like, I think I'm just going to disappear for like 20 minutes and go hang out in the back porch and play some CSR. I don't know. That's the point of these games to me. Devin Booth says that CSR is better than Real Racing 3. Bring it on. Shots fired. Anyway, so we had reported that they are going to do the Q&A. We talked about them having done. Anyway, here's a recap from Operation Sports on the actual Q&A Q&A session and answered a few NASCAR Heat 5 questions. So if you're interested in, I'm not going to go into details, NASCAR Heat 4. But if you want to hear how that played out, maybe this will give you insight as to the future for NASCAR Heat 5. Are they going to call it NASCAR Heat 5? But you can check that out, Operation Sports. And I saw question marks. Yeah, tried the new iRacing build. Dave Cam, yes, I have. We did that at the very beginning of the show, so apparently you came in late. Welcome to the show, Dave Cam. But yeah, I drove it. I love the AI. I thought it was really cool. It's not perfect. It's not overly aggressive. They are, for the most part, trying to use the driving line, but when they're too wide, they're a little confused. They do make mistakes. They do race each other. You will take a little time to find the range, so you have them set so that it puts you where you want to be on the grid. They're terrible on starts. They're a little slow on cold tires. Actually, I was slower than them. And yeah, it was really cool. Lime Rock was a frame rate hog, but it was absolutely stunning. And I did not get to see the facelift of the Skippy. I did not get to see Lernerville. And I did not get to see the Aussie V8s just yet. So there you go. There you go. That was my quick. For anybody late on the show, those are my quick thoughts on the new build for iRacing, which was, we talked about it for about 15-20 minutes. All right. You guys should know by now. I know when I get there. When we start seeing those rigs, we know we're getting to the end of the show. 54 minutes in. We're going to make an hour today. We'll be just shy of an hour. On Reddit, this one being posted by Kyle Murr. Cheapest cockpit setup. My cheap setup is a T150, $25 used. Wood wheel stand, $5 for screws to build it. Wood was throwaway 2x4s. A Viso 24-inch monitor, $7 from the thrift store. A folding camping chair, free on the side of the road. Who can beat his $37 rig? Kyle Murr, I applaud you on what you've done. And I've just been lazy about DIY. And we're going to come back to the Twitch in a minute. But one of my ideas for a DIY project, we have everybody on Twitch has to roust me and push me to do these things that I want to do. I think it'd be really fun to, at like 6 a.m., jump in the car, live on Twitch with my cell phone, and driving around trying to find a camping chair, a broken pallet, whatever I can get to come home and assemble it to build a rig and build it quickly and throw my wheel on it and run the Friday night or Sunday morning race on that very rig. It has to be that good. Or strong enough to do it, and if it breaks, it's going to be even funnier. But I applaud you because, we aren't sim elitists. We are guys who encourage people to get as deep into this hobby that they feel comfortable with. And what you have there is a setup that is going to win you many races. You're not missing anything, and $37 all in, you are a winner. You are a big winner. If you happen to watch the show or anybody tells Kyle Murr, I'll happily send you some Simpit stickers for that rig. Just email me, Shaun, SHAUN @thesimpit.com. Eric Hardman, yeah, how do I contact him? I gotta join Reddit to do it. I'm not a Reddit member. All right. I will give away 2 Simpit stickers right now. I will give one Simpit sticker to I'll give Simpit sticker to anybody who gets in contact with Kyle Murr. If you have a Reddit account, Kyle, KYLEMURRR, Kyle Murr, and contact him, and I will happily send you a sticker for your effort. And why not elitist? Thumbs down. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, I would love to send him a sticker and show him how much we appreciate his work. And anybody who can make that happen, I will send you a sticker. And if 2 people happen to do it, everybody gets a sticker. You get a sticker. You get a sticker. This one by BDS, and I love it. Anyway, anytime I see wood unpainted, I think Deathmobile. Funny enough, the Deathmobile originally was painted black. That's how it actually got the name, was it looked like the Deathmobile from Animal House. But anything wood immediately ticks us off to a Deathmobile concept. This looks like a home-built desk, if I had to guess, with a home-built pedal stand, which you got to applaud that. That is a nice-looking pedal stand for what he's done there. And then this is the best part. The hooks for the chair. That chair is going nowhere. That is now a sim rig. Awesome. Well done. Sitting in his gaming chair. You can see the knob on his shifter sticking out. So this guy's hardcore. Very, very well done. This posted by BDS Gaming on Reddit. Gotta love that. And then finally, what are we looking at here? This looks like a GT Omega. This one by ToeGod27. Any of you guys have anything looking like this? Looks like a profile monitor stand. Nice looking profile. Anybody know that? And is that a GT Omega seat put on a P1 rig? Is that his own scratch-built black 80/20 rig recycled GT Omega seat? And look at that seat. He's got a little Fanatic sticker on the little plastic pieces. Anyway, that thing's pretty gnarly. I like that. At that point, that rig is far nicer. He needs a bigger monitor or triples for sure, because that's not even one of those super wides. That's just like a big, like 40-inch, not even 48, I don't think. That's like 40-inch monitor. Definitely. It's an RS9 on a profile chassis. Yep. Anyway, all right, lastly, checking in with Mitchie Hoyer. I clowned him the other day, which is so unfair. Mitchie Hoyer's so good, and I give him a hard time all the time when he's not in one of these super events. But he posted this yesterday, so Mitchie Hoyer streams with us all the time. He's mega happy and super proud to announce that he is taking part in this first and exclusive sim racing event hosted by BMW Motorsport, the BMW Sim Live 2019. Remember, it was an all-star list of drivers, like an invitational. It's going to be done in the BMW Museum. Looking forward to meeting and racing awesome people there and getting out some vlogs and posts and so on. Hopefully he'll do some of that here at our channel. He likes to do stuff here too, but this could be exciting. You're going to be able to see from the inside of this race, which is going to be one of those alien invitational races. This is coming up Thursday evening, 20:55 CET. And if you follow Mitchie Hoyer on Facebook, you can stay tuned with information on when that's going on and check out his channel, and hopefully he'll put some of that here as well. So, okay, that takes us to the end of the show here on YouTube. I am going to give you all a pitch for heading over to Twitch. A pitch for Twitch right here at the Simpit. We are moving on. Let me grab them again just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna make you jealous. I'm gonna give you a reason to follow us on Twitch. And you know, one of the things with the Simpit, when I started the Patreon account program, I didn't want it to take away from the show, and it never has. When I started the Twitch, I didn't want it to take away from the YouTube, and it never has. We do things just a little bit differently in each place. So what we're about to do on Twitch is move into this. If you see, this is a multicolored LED strip. This also resembles, think about it, like an LED strip for your rev lights, for example. This right here is Arduino Nano mini controller board, little teeny USB header on it. And with this, we can make our own, I believe using SimHub software, and I know nothing of what I'm doing. That's what we're going to do here. Today we are going to go live on Twitch, or we're already live on Twitch, Simpit live on Twitch. We are going to try to figure out how to make this work. We're going to solder it together, somehow have to cut the lights and wire it to this, plug it in, run some software, and make it be a rev limiter. And then if it works, what's awesome is it's self-adhesive, and my plan is to just stick it literally right on my bezel so that it just sits there center top right below my webcam on my monitor. So we're going to do that on Twitch. I don't know how far we're going to get because I do take a lunch break. Actually, right after the show, we're going to take a little bit of break. And then we're going to get down to doing that. We're going to have to move the studio around and do some things. But that's how we operate on Twitch. Now, I will be filming it with my camera so that I can give a very edited version of what we did on YouTube. There will be an edited version, the quickie version. But this is going to be the, swearing, cutting my finger, burning my hand, screwing it up, blowing things up version on Twitch. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I haven't even looked at step 1 of the instructions. I bought some parts. I even hope I have the right parts. We might get 5 minutes in and be like, oh, shoot, we don't have this. And that might be the end of the show. I don't know. But Twitch is going to be that way for our Twitch. It'll be truly Simpit Live. It'll be, what is Shaun working on? If I'm working on something, testing on something, doing something, we'll be live on Twitch. And so, yeah, check us out, Twitch. Simpit Live on Twitch. But that's going to do it for today's show, Hump Day edition of the Pit Stop. We will be back Friday morning with another version. Mike is Hype comes in and is now following us on Twitch. Thank you, Mike is Hype. Thank you. And hello, Twitch. We're going to keep things going with a little break, but that is going to do it for today's show. Get out there, do some racing. Tell me what you think about that AI. Smurfs now following us on Twitch as well. Thank you very much, Smurfs. And, of course, be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube so you'll get advanced warning when we go live like Friday morning for that edition of the Pit Stop, or when we have an edited show. I do have something that's waiting on approval, not really, that I want to launch. I got to send an email out and find out what's going on with that. And then we have some other things going on. Hopefully, Jesse, I'm going to turn on the patron live audio while we're working. Niranjan, thank you very much. Niranjan, thank you very much. Also subscribing to us here on YouTube, thank you. But yeah, you'll find out when we go live or when we have a show coming out like this one once it's all done and edited. That's going to do it for today. Get out there, do some sim racing. Most of all, have a great day. This is the Simpit. I'm Shaun Cole, and I'll see you on the track.